Attention, users of the birth control NuvaRing.
If you or a loved one used the birth control NuvaRing and suffered a heart attack, stroke, pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis, or blood clot, call the Goldwater Law Firm right now.
If this has happened to you or a loved one, call us right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation.
Call the Goldwater Law Firm right now. Call 1-800-391-5000. That's 1-800-391-5000.
If you are one of the many who suffered from food poisoning because of contaminated peanut butter, you may be entitled to a cash award.
If you were hospitalized or if someone you know died from contaminated peanut butter, call attorney Jim Adler right now.
If this has happened to you, keep the jar. If you've been hospitalized, you may be entitled to a cash award.
Some Peter Pan and Great Value peanut butter has been recalled. Keep the jar and call attorney Jim Adler now at 713-777-4000.
Health alert. Individuals with kidney problems. If you received an MRI with contrast, then develop skin problems including thick and hard skin, stiff joints, or limited mobility, compensation may be available. Call 1-800-LAW-5755 for a claim evaluation.
Have you been diagnosed with viral meningitis, malignant tumors, anemia, sepsis, or the brain disease PML and have taken Raptiva? You may have a claim for damages. Call the Singleton Law Firm today at 877-631-5200.
Attention diabetics, if you've experienced pancreatitis, kidney failure, or thyroid cancer after injecting diabetes medication, you deserve compensation. Call 1-800-LAW-FIRM now.
Heard on the job?
Attorney Jim Adler offers help to workers who have been injured in construction, refinery, offshore, oil field, railroad, or other dangerous work accidents.
Heard on the job? Even if you think you were at fault or already received workers' compensation benefits, call attorney Jim Adler right now.
If you were in any accident involving severe burns, paralysis, brain damage, amputation, or wrongful death, call attorney Jim Adler right now at 713-777-4000.
Attention diabetics, if you've taken the diabetes drug Avandia, listen carefully. If you or a member of your family has suffered a heart attack, stroke, congestive heart failure, or death while taking Avandia, you may be entitled to financial damages. Call the Relying Group now to be connected with an experienced attorney for a free legal consultation. Despite the fact that the FDA has issued a safety alert to all Avandia users due to an increased risk of heart attack, stroke, congestive heart failure, and even death, the manufacturer is still selling Avandia. Do not delay. There are time deadlines to file a claim. The Reliant Group has successfully helped thousands of Avandia victims and their families get the financial compensation they deserve. Call now for a free legal consultation. There's absolutely no risk on your part. You don't owe us anything unless we're successful.
If you have diabetes and have taken the drug Avandia, you may be entitled to a cash award.
If you or someone you know has suffered a heart attack, stroke, or even died while taking Avandia, call attorney Jim Adler right now.
I'm Jim Adler, the tough, smart lawyer. If you or a loved one is taking this drug, call me right now. You may be entitled to a cash award.
If you've taken Avandia and have had a heart attack or stroke, call attorney Jim Adler right now at 713-777-4000.
If you or a loved one has suffered from a femur or thigh fracture, Fosamax, a commonly prescribed osteoporosis medication, could be to blame. Fosamax is used in the treatment of osteoporosis in postmenopausal women. Femur fractures do not usually occur without trauma. If you suffered a femur or thigh fracture and were on Fosamax, call 1-800-BAD-DRUG. You may be entitled to compensation. It is urgent for you to act immediately to protect your legal rights. If you took Fosamax and suffered from a femur or thigh fracture side effects, call 1-800-BAD-DRUG now.
Attention, this is a legal alert for former patients of Dr. Nikita Levy at Johns Hopkins Hospital's East Baltimore Medical Center.
Johns Hopkins Hospital and law enforcement are investigating the unauthorized photographing and videotaping of certain patients who were treated by Dr. Nikita Levy since 1988. If you were treated by Dr. Nikita Levy, your privacy may have been violated. Call Science and Kirk right now at 1-800-522-0102. That's 1-800-522-0102.
The blood thinner Pradaxa may cause serious internal bleeding and heart attacks. The FDA is evaluating reports of serious bleeding events in patients taking Pradaxa. The manufacturer has linked hundreds of deaths to Pradaxa since 2010. If you or a loved one took Pradaxa and suffered from gastrointestinal bleeding, cerebral hemorrhaging, a heart attack, or death, you may be eligible to receive compensation. Call 1-800-BAD-DRUG to discuss your rights with an attorney. Call now for a free consultation. 1-800-BAD-DRUG.
This is a consumer alert.
I'm Terry Krupa, and my law firm fights giant companies. Here's what we're tracking right now. Toner shoes, also known as shape-up or rocker bottom shoes, have been linked to many serious injuries. These round bottom shoes, which are designed to be unstable, have been associated with stress fractures, trips and falls, broken bones, and serious tendon and ligament damage. We can help. We're Brown and Crouppen. Call us for free at 1-800-536-HELP.
Attention. If you've been diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, often called acute myelogenous leukemia or AML, your leukemia may have been caused by exposure to certain chemicals.
This is serious. If you've ever worked around chemicals and you now have AML, call the law firm of Robert Goldwater right now.
I'm attorney Bob Goldwater. If you've ever been exposed to chemicals at work or at home, and you now have AML or acute myeloid leukemia, you may be entitled to a large cash award.
If you ever worked around chemicals and you now have AML or acute myeloid leukemia, the manufacturers of these chemicals may be to blame. Call attorney Robert Goldwater right now. You may be entitled to a large cash award.
If you have AML or acute myeloid leukemia, don't put this off. Call me immediately.
Don't put this off. If you or a loved one has acute myeloid leukemia,
call 800-508-6081. That's 800-508-6081.
Attention, the use of e-cigarette vaping devices such as Juul have been linked to severe health effects, especially in young people.
If you or your child uses an e-cigarette and suffered a seizure, nicotine poisoning, addiction, or any other serious health problems, you may be entitled to a cash award. Call the Goldwater Law Firm.
Call us right now. You may be entitled to substantial compensation.
Call 1-800-476-4600. That's 1-800-476-4600.
Attention, if you own a 2003 to 2007 Ford Super Duty truck with a 6.0-liter diesel engine, you may be entitled to money damages.
If you own one of these Ford diesel trucks, even if it hasn't caused you any problems, call us right now to see if you qualify for money damages.
If you own a 2003 to 2007 Ford Super Duty truck or Excursion with a 6.0-liter diesel engine, call 1-800-912-9944. 1-800-912-9944.
Attention women who took the drug Zofran while pregnant. Zofran, a prescription drug used to treat nausea and vomiting, has been shown to increase the risk of certain birth defects when taken in the first trimester of pregnancy. If you took the drug Zofran while you were pregnant and your child was born with a heart defect, cleft lip, or cleft palate, you and your child may be entitled to financial compensation from the manufacturer. Call the Rely On Group right now to be connected with an experienced attorney for a free consultation and to see if you and your child may qualify for financial compensation for pain, suffering, and medical expenses. There is no risk on your part, and you don't owe us a penny unless we are successful. If you took Zofran while pregnant and your child was born with a heart defect, cleft lip, or palate, call 800-699-6147 for a free consultation. That's 800-699-6147. Call now.
Attention, if you have a hip replacement, listen carefully.
Johnson & Johnson has recalled almost 100,000 DePuy hip implants. If you've had a DePuy hip replacement and it's been removed or it's causing you problems, call the Goldwater Law Firm right now.
If this has happened to you or a loved one, call us right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation.
If you've had a DePuy hip replacement, call 1-800-927-6767. 1-800-927-6767.
Attention women, the National Institutes of Health has reported that chemical hair straightening products have been linked to an increased risk of uterine cancer.
If you used a chemical hair straightening product and have been diagnosed with uterine cancer, call the Goldwater Law Firm right now. You may be entitled to substantial compensation.
Call now and find out in less than 2 minutes if you may qualify.
Call 1-800-659-3939. That's 1-800-659-3939.
Attention, defective airbags in certain Honda and GM vehicles have been linked to serious injuries and even death.
If you or a loved one was in an auto accident and was injured or scarred by fragments from your exploding airbag, call the Goldwater Law Firm.
Call us right now. You may be entitled to substantial compensation.
If you were injured or scarred by an airbag, or if a loved one was injured or killed, call 1-800-661-6969. 1-800-661-6969.
Important message for users of the drug Vioxx.
The FDA warns that those who take Vioxx may double their risk of heart attack, stroke, or even sudden cardiac death.
On September 30th, 2004, the largest prescription drug recall in history was issued for Vioxx. However, researchers have suggested that Vioxx should have been withdrawn years earlier.
Merck, the multi-billion-dollar manufacturer of Vioxx, may be to blame for your heart attack or stroke. You could be entitled to a large cash award, but you need to act now to preserve your legal rights.
The law firm of Robert Goldwater and their affiliates know how to make companies like Merck pay for their mistakes. Call for a free case review today. Get the justice and financial compensation you deserve.
Have you or a family member been the victim of a Vioxx-caused heart attack or stroke? Call the law firm of Robert Goldwater right now. Get the compensation the law entitles you to. Call 1-800-801-0900. That's 1-800-801-0900.
Stop! If you've been in a car wreck, don't do anything until you talk to me.
After my car wreck, I said stop. I'm not signing or recording anything with the insurance company until I talk to Tom Dunyan.
Be careful.
After my car wreck, I was careful. I called Tom Dunyan first.
I'll work hard to get you every dollar you deserve.
I got a great settlement. I got over 15 times more than the insurance company offered.
Call me. It's just that easy.
Call 1-800-DUNYON. DUNNION.
Attention employees, if you've worked for a company that has overcharged the federal government for products or services, you may be entitled to a cash award.
Many whistleblowers have been awarded millions of dollars for their information. Call us right now for a free confidential review.
Call us right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation.
If you've worked for a company that has overcharged the federal government, call 1-800-540-5454. That's 1-800-540-5454.
Attention accident victims.
Attorney Jim Adler offers help to victims of serious auto or truck accidents, including gas tank explosions, tire blowouts, rollovers, or 18-wheeler crashes.
If you were in any serious accident, even if you were at fault or already received an insurance settlement, call Attorney Jim Adler right now.
If you were in any accident involving severe burns, paralysis, brain damage, amputation, or wrongful death, call Attorney Jim Adler right now at 713-777-4000.
Recently, the FDA warned that long-term use or high doses of Reglan may cause tardive dyskinesia. Symptoms include repetitive movements of the extremities, lip smacking, grimacing, tongue protrusion, rapid eye movements, or impaired movement of the fingers. If you or someone you know has been diagnosed with tardive dyskinesia or suffer from any of these symptoms after taking Reglan, you may be entitled to compensation. For a free consultation, contact Peterson & Associates toll-free at 877-DRUG-GIANT or go to druglawfirm.com.
The spokesperson is not a lawyer.
Attention, the FDA warns that the gout medication Uloric can cause heart attacks and strokes.
If you took Uloric to treat gout and then suffered heart attack or stroke, call the Goldwater Law Firm.
Call us right now. You may be entitled to substantial compensation.
If you or a loved one took the gout medication Uloric and then suffered a heart attack, stroke, or other heart problem, call 1-800-922-1700. That's 1-800-922-1700.
This is a drug alert. I'm Terry Krupin. My law firm fights giant drug companies. Here's what we're tracking right now. Recently, the makers of Peter Pan and Great Value Peanut Butter have recalled some of their products. If you've eaten Peter Pan or Great Value Peanut Butter and then had fever, diarrhea, or abdominal pain that required medical attention, you may be entitled to compensation. We're Brown and Crouppen. Call us for free at 421-HELP.
Attention, Xarelto and Pradaxa has been linked to internal bleeding. If you were hospitalized for internal bleeding or your loved one died from internal bleeding after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call now. The maker of Pradaxa has already agreed to pay $650 million to those harmed. If you were hospitalized for internal bleeding or your loved one died from internal bleeding after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call Chief and Luhana at 1-800-333-5792 for a free consultation. Call 1-800-333-5792.
Attention hip replacement patients. Stryker Orthopedics has issued a recall for 2 of its artificial hip replacement systems. The recalled hip products can cause serious health problems and may require additional surgeries. If you've suffered complications with your hip implant, or if your implant required a second corrective surgery, the manufacturer may be liable for your damages. Call board-certified lawyer and former judge Terry Bryant. 1-800-444-5000.
Attention accident victims.
Attorney Jim Adler offers help to victims of auto or truck safety defects, such as seatbelt failure, rollover accidents, SUV rollovers, truck rollovers, or van rollovers.
If you were in any serious accident, even if you were at fault or already received an insurance settlement, call Attorney Jim Adler right now.
If you were in any accident involving severe burns, paralysis, brain damage, amputation, or wrongful death, call Attorney Jim Adler right now at 713-777-4000.
Attention women. Certain transvaginal mesh implants have been recalled. These implants have been linked to serious injuries.
If you have a transvaginal mesh implant for the repair of pelvic organ prolapse or stress urinary incontinence, you may be entitled to financial compensation.
There are time deadlines to file a claim, so call us right now.
If you have a transvaginal mesh implant,
call 800-426-4672. That's 800-426-4672. 800-426-4672.
If you've had a hernia mesh, you may be at serious risk.
If you had a hernia mesh implant after January 2000 and then had surgery or were told you needed surgery to repair or remove the mesh, call the Goldwater Law Firm.
If you had hernia mesh surgery and then suffered complications, call us right now. You may be entitled to substantial compensation.
Call 1-800-254-4300. That's 1-800-254-4300.
This is a drug alert.
I'm Terry Crouppen. My law firm fights giant drug companies. Here's what we're tracking right now. Avandia is used by 6 million people worldwide to treat type 2 diabetes. The respected New England Journal of Medicine reports Avandia has been linked to a 43% increased risk of heart attack and a 64% greater risk of death. Remember, Avandia. We're Brown and Crouppen. Call us for free at 421-HELP.
If someone you know has died and the death certificate or autopsy report shows toxic levels of Darvon, Darvocet, or any generic propoxyphene drug, you may be entitled to substantial money damages. Call Glenn Lerner at 877-1500 or visit glennlerner.com. For other dangerous drugs and products, visit glennlerner.com.
Attention, users of the prescription medication Xarelto and Eliquis. These drugs may be linked to uncontrollable bleeding in the brain, gastrointestinal tract, vital organs, nose, and gums that lead to hospitalization, transfusion, surgery, or even death. If you or a loved one has taken Xarelto or Eliquis and experienced serious or fatal bleeding, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Call now. Delay may affect your legal rights. Call 1-800-WIN-WIN-1. Metzger-Wickersham. Right now.
Have you been injured by the type 2 diabetes drug Actos?
888-999-DRUG.
Injuries can result from inadequate labeling or side effects the manufacturer did not disclose.
888-999-DRUG.
Possible side effects include bladder or kidney cancer, heart disease, heart attack, and liver damage.
888-999-DRUG.
I'm Dr. Ted. I'm both a doctor and a lawyer who is concerned about your health and can represent you for your legal case. You may be entitled to compensation. We'd like to help. Call me, Dr. Ted, at 1-888-999-DRUG.
Attention, anyone who has a financial loss due to the Gulf spill.
Is the Gulf oil spill affecting your job, business, or property? If this spill is costing you money, you should be compensated. Call attorney Gordon McKernan right now.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Call me right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation.
If this oil spill is costing you money, get Gordon.
Get Gordon and get it done.
Call 1-800-673-5520.
Attention! The FDA warns that the diabetes drug Actos has been linked to bladder cancer.
If you've taken Actos and now have bladder cancer, or if a loved one has died from bladder cancer after taking Actos, call the Goldwater Law Firm right now.
I'm attorney Bob Goldwater. If you took Actos and then developed bladder cancer, call us right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation.
If you have bladder cancer, the diabetes drug Actos may be to blame, and the manufacturer of Actos may owe you compensation for your medical bills and your pain and suffering. Call the Goldwater Law Firm right now for a free consultation.
There are time deadlines to file a claim, so call us right now.
If you've been diagnosed with bladder cancer, or if a loved one died from bladder cancer after taking Actos, call the Goldwater Law Firm. Call 1-800-555-1212. That's 1-800-555-1212. 1-800-555-1212.
Attention Avastin users.
If you or a loved one used the breast cancer drug Avastin and suffered gastrointestinal perforations, congestive heart failure, kidney disorders, permanent disabilities, or even died, call the Goldwater Law Firm right now.
Call us right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation.
If you used the breast cancer drug Avastin and suffered any of these injuries, call the Goldwater Law Firm right now.
Warning, the anti-smoking drug Chantix has been linked to serious injuries and suicides. If you or someone you know took the drug Chantix, this message is for you.
This is serious. Chantix has been linked to suicides, attempted suicides, and serious injuries following a blackout. If this has happened to you or a loved one, call the Goldwater Law Firm right now.
If you or a loved one took Chantix and suffered any of these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to a large cash award.
Chantix may be to blame for your loved one's suicide, attempted suicide, or serious injury following a blackout. Call the Goldwater Law Firm right now for a free legal consultation.
Don't put this off. There are strict time deadlines to file a claim, so call right now to see if you may qualify for a settlement. If you or a loved one took Chantix and were seriously injured or died, call the Goldwater Law Firm right now. Call 1-800-472-6611. That's 1-800-472-6611.
Hydroxycut recall alert. Hydroxycut weight loss supplements have been pulled from the market. If you have used Hydroxycut and suffered from any of the following medical problems, call the law firm of Farah and Farah today. Liver damage, cardiovascular disorders, seizures, jaundice, nausea, abdominal pain, and excessive fatigue. Remember, if you or someone you know have experienced these medical problems as a result of the use of Hydroxycut, you may have a right to file a legal claim. Please call the law firm of Farah and Farah today at 1-800-533-3555.
Thousands of surgical patients were given the anti-clotting drug Trazolol without their knowledge during heart, orthopedic, and spinal surgeries. Trazolol has been linked to severe side effects including kidney damage, strokes, heart attacks, even death. If you or a loved one had surgery that resulted in renal failure and dialysis, you may have a valuable legal claim. Let the attorneys at Lanham Blackwell help you hold the drug companies accountable and get you the compensation you deserve.
Attention, has your home suffered property damage within the last 6 years?
If you filed a claim with your homeowner's insurance company, you may be entitled to additional compensation you didn't even know about.
Call us right now. Don't miss out on your chance for financial compensation.
If you filed a claim with your homeowner's insurance company within the last 6 years, call us to see if you qualify for additional money. Call 1-800-232-7100. That's 1-800-232-7100.
This is a dangerous drug alert.
Hello, I'm Terry Crouppen from the law firm of Brown & Crouppen. My law firm fights giant drug companies that make drugs that hurt people. Here's a drug we're tracking right now. The FDA has requested the arthritis drug Bextra be taken off the market and a black box warning be put on the popular drug Celebrex. Both have been linked to heart attacks and strokes. Remember, we're Brown & Crouppen. We fight giant drug companies that make drugs that hurt people. Call us now for free at 421-HELP.
Attention men. A new study shows that prescription testosterone products increase the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and blood clots. If you've used any type of testosterone gel or injections and then suffered a heart attack, stroke, or blood clot, call 1-800-DRUG-LAW. Call us right now and you may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you took testosterone, then suffered a heart attack, stroke, or blood clot, call 1-800-DRUG-LAW. That's 1-800-DRUG-LAW.
Did you suffer renal or kidney failure after a colonoscopy? Phosphate soda given prior to colonoscopy was voluntarily recalled for causing kidney failure. Patients with kidney failure after a colonoscopy need to call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Elk and Elk, serious lawyers for serious injuries.
If you used an ice-cold therapy machine, this message is for you.
If you or a loved one used an ice-cold therapy machine and were seriously injured, call the Goldwater Law Firm right now.
If you had ice therapy after your surgery and now have any of these injuries, call us right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation.
If you or a loved one used an ice-cold therapy machine after surgery and were injured,
call 1-800-858-3118. That's 1-800-858-3118.
Attention surgical patients. Many hospitals are now using a surgical robot to perform hysterectomies, prostate surgery, and other surgeries. The problem: robotic surgery has caused some patients to suffer serious injuries and can even result in death. If you had a hysterectomy, prostate surgery, or other surgery with a surgical robot and suffered serious injuries, medical complications, or your loved one died, you may be entitled to money damages. Call Handler, Henning & Rosenberg at 1-800-444-9651. Call 1-800-444-9651.
Attention Digitech users. Digitech tablets, also known as digoxin tablets, were recently recalled from the market. Digitech has been linked to death in patients. The problem: double-strength tablets were given to patients in error, causing low blood pressure, a slow heartbeat, and cardiac instability. If your loved one took Digitech tablets and died after taking Digitech tablets, call the Allen Law Firm at 1-800-916-5-LAW for a free consultation. Call 1-800-916-5-LAW.
This is a consumer alert.
I'm Terry Krupa, and my law firm fights giant companies. Here's what we're tracking right now. If you're a woman who's had surgery to correct urinary leakage or abdominal pain, please listen. Serious problems have been linked to the mesh implanted during this surgery. If you've had pain, bleeding, infections, bladder or intestinal punctures after surgery, call us. We can help. We're Brown and Crouppen. Call us for free at 1-800-536-HELP.
If you or a loved one have a Guidant or Medtronic pacemaker or defibrillator, or have suffered injury, heart attack, or cardiac death, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call toll-free 1-800-508-7151 for a free case review. Guidant and Medtronic corporations have recalled thousands of defibrillators and pacemakers due to malfunctions reportedly causing serious injury and death. Learn more about your rights and the recalls. Call now for a free case review. 1-800-508-7151.
Attention rice farmers, it's not too late to file a claim against Bayer Crop Science.
if you are a farmer or landlord who grew long grain rice between 2006 and 2010, you may be entitled to financial compensation.
There are time deadlines to file a claim, so call us right now.
If you are a farmer or landlord who grew long grain rice between 2006 and 2010, call 1-800-698-4747. That's 1-800-698-4747.
Medical studies show that patients who take Plavix are at an increased risk of serious bleeding, including hemorrhagic stroke, TTP blood disorder, gastrointestinal bleeding, bleeding from ears, eyes, and nose, bleeding ulcers, subdural hematoma, and death. The FDA recently issued a new black box warning for Plavix. If you or a loved one suffered serious side effects or died after taking Plavix, you may be entitled to money damages. Call Audette & Partners at 1-888-99-AUDETTE or visit us online at audetelaw.com.
This message is for postmenopausal women who have taken the osteoporosis drug Fosamax. Studies have shown women who take Fosamax for over 3 years have a highly increased likelihood of spontaneous femur fractures. If you took Fosamax and suffered a femur fracture, you may be able to recover monetary compensation from the manufacturer. To learn more, call Gordon & Donner at 333-3333 or visit fortheinjured.com.
Attention Raptiva users. The FDA says the psoriasis drug may cause brain infections.
This is serious. If you or a loved one took Raptiva and developed a brain infection, PML, or other complications, Raptiva may be to blame. Call the National Law Firm of Parliament and Associates right now.
If Raptiva caused your injury, this announcement is for you and your family. Call now to protect your rights.
Call the National Law Firm of Parliament and Associates now at 800-610-0088.
The following is a health alert. If you or a loved one is using a fentanyl pain patch for chronic pain, you should know that this patch may cause serious side effects and even death.
At Angel Reyes & Associates, we've helped thousands of people recover money for injuries from dangerous drugs. We can help you too. I'm Angel Reyes, and you have my word on it.
Call Angel Reyes & Associates at 1-877-308-7900, 1-877-308-7900, or visit angelcanhelp.com.
Have you or a loved one taken Maltac for heart arrhythmias or atrial fibrillations? Recently, the FDA has issued new warnings of possible symptoms of yellowing of the eyes and skin, itching, dark urine, elevated liver enzymes, possibly resulting in acute liver failure and even death. If you or a loved one took Maltac and have been diagnosed with a severe liver injury, then you could have a claim for compensation. Call today, 1-888-LAW-2040.
Attention men, have you been diagnosed with skin cancer? One of the most widely prescribed drugs used to treat erectile dysfunction has been linked to the development of melanoma, a rare and potentially fatal form of skin cancer. If you've taken a prescription erectile dysfunction drug and were later diagnosed with a skin cancer melanoma, you may be entitled to compensation. Call Sokolov Law now, 1-800-250-2035 for your free legal consultation. That's 1-800-250-2035. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
Attention diabetics. The diabetes drugs Byetta, Januvia, and Victoza have been linked to pancreatic and thyroid cancer.
If you or a loved one took Byetta, Januvia, or Victoza and then developed pancreatic cancer or thyroid cancer, call the Goldwater Law Firm right now.
Call 1-800-720-8866.
I'm attorney Bob Goldwater. If you or a loved one has taken any of these drugs and were injured, call us right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation.
The drug manufacturer may be to blame for your pancreatic or thyroid cancer, and you may be entitled to substantial compensation.
There are time deadlines to file a claim, so call us right now.
If you or a loved one took the diabetes drugs Byetta, Januvia, or Victoza and then developed pancreatic cancer or thyroid cancer, call the Goldwater Law Firm right now for a free consultation.
Call 1-800-720-8866. That's 1-800-720-8866.
Attention women, the OB tape sling and several transvaginal meshes have been linked to serious injuries.
If you have a transvaginal mesh or OB tape sling and have suffered vaginal intrusion, extreme pain, chronic discharge, bladder problems, infection, or if you had the device break loose or surgically removed, you may be entitled to compensation.
For a free confidential review, call 1-800-420-1515. That's 1-800-420-1515.
This is a drug alert.
I'm Terry Krupin. My law firm fights giant drug companies. Here's what we're tracking right now. The bad news about hormone replacement therapy just keeps coming. It's now been linked to cancer, especially breast cancer. And what's worse, the breast cancer can develop years after you stop the medicines. If you've developed breast or any other cancer, even years after taking hormone replacement therapy, we can help. We're Brown and Krupin. Call us for free at 421-HELP.
This is a drug alert.
I'm Terry Krupin. My law firm fights giant drug companies. Here's what we're tracking right now. Yaz and Yasmin, two heavily advertised birth control drugs, have been linked to blood clots, pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis, heart attacks, strokes, pancreatitis, and other organ failures. If you took Yaz or Yasmin and had any medical problems, call us now. We're Brown and Krupin. Call us for free at 421-HELP.
Attention, certain fentanyl pain patches have been recalled because of a defect that can cause a fatal overdose.
This is serious. If someone you know has died while wearing a skin patch for pain, the manufacturer may be to blame.
I'm attorney Bob Goldwater. If you or a loved one used this patch and were injured, call me right now. You may be entitled to a large cash award.
If someone you know has died while wearing a Duragesic skin patch for pain, call 800-215-2583.
Hi, I'm Steve Malman. The federal government has warned that the heartburn medication Zantac and its generic form may contain a substance that causes cancer. If you or a loved one has taken one of these medications and been diagnosed with any of the following cancers, you may deserve substantial compensation. Our experienced team has won multi-billion-dollar settlements. In just a few minutes, we can tell you if you have a case. Malman Law. We know what matters most.
Attention military personnel.
If you suffered hearing loss while serving in the military, call the Goldwater Law Firm right now.
I'm attorney Bob Goldwater. If you suffered hearing loss while serving in the military, the earplugs issued to you may be to blame. The manufacturer of these defective earplugs have already agreed to pay millions of dollars. Call us right now. You may be entitled to substantial compensation.
Call 1-800-298-5200. That's 1-800-298-5200.
Attention, certain Philips CPAP machines and at-home ventilators have been recalled.
If you or a loved one were diagnosed with one of these serious injuries after using a Philips CPAP machine or at-home ventilator, call the Goldwater Law Firm.
Call us right now. You may be entitled to substantial compensation.
Call 1-800-420-1515. That's 1-800-420-1515.
We're Holdings, the nation's largest producer of orthopedic devices, announced the suspension of sales of artificial hip implant component, the Durham Cup. If you or a loved one is experiencing complications due to this implant, contact the law offices of Flint & Sawyers now at 1-888-79-FLINT. We also represent those suffering with mesothelioma and victims injured by defective products. Flint & Sawyers Accident Lawyers. Call now, 1-888-79-FLINT. Online, bruceflint.com.
A safety warning has been issued on Guidant medical devices that have been implanted from the mid-1990s to present, including Guidance defibrillator, Guidance pacemaker, and Guidance Ancure stent grafts. Guidant Corporation has recalled 11 cardiac defibrillator models that have been implanted in thousands of patients. The Ancure stent graft device that is used to repair abdominal aortic aneurysms has been recalled. In addition, there has been a safety warning issued on 9 pacemaker models due to malfunction that could lead to serious health complications or even death. If you or a loved one have a Guidant cardiac defibrillator or a pacemaker and think you may be at risk or have had AAA surgery and suffered serious injury or death,
call attorney James Rollhouse & Associates toll-free at 800-598-3199 for a free case evaluation. That's 800-598-3199. Time restrictions may apply, so call now. 800-598-3199.
Attention, General Motors has recalled 2.6 million vehicles due to defective ignitions. These faulty ignition switches can cause airbags, steering, and brakes to fail.
Tragically, these defective vehicles have been linked to hundreds of injuries and deaths. If you or a loved one were injured in an accident involving a Chevrolet, Saturn, or Pontiac in which the airbag did not deploy, call 1-800-696-9090. That's 1-800-696-9090.
Attention.
Fosamax weakens the femur, which is the thigh bone in the leg, and makes it more likely to break.
If you took Fosamax and then broke your leg from a non-impact activity, such as walking or just standing, call us right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation.
If you used Fosamax and then broke your leg from any non-impact or low-impact activity, call 1-800-671-1515. That's 1-800-671-1515.
Attention cholesterol patients. Baycol, a cholesterol-lowering drug taken by 700,000 Americans, was recently pulled off the market. Baycol has been linked to serious injury and death in patients using this drug. The problem? Baycol causes severe muscle destruction, weakness, fever, nausea, vomiting, and possible kidney failure. Baycol users, call the personal injury attorneys at the law offices of Donald Edgar at 1-800-545-6409. That's 1-800-545-6409.
Attention dialysis patients. Recent studies have linked certain dialysis solutions to heart attacks. If you or a loved one suffered heart complications during dialysis treatment, call the Reliant Group right now. You may be owed a significant cash award plus medical expenses from the manufacturer. The FDA has issued their most serious type of recall for Granuflow and Natrolite. stating that these kidney dialysis solutions may cause serious heart complications. Injuries include sudden cardiac death, heart attack, and stroke. Call the Reliant Group right now to be connected to an experienced attorney for a free consultation. You don't owe us a penny unless we're successful. Do not delay. There are time deadlines to file a claim. Call now to determine if you may qualify for a cash award and medical expenses. If you or a loved one has undergone dialysis treatment and suffered heart complications, call the Reliant Group at 1-800-541-7637. That's 1-800-541-7637.
If you had a claim denied or your health coverage canceled by Assurant Health, Time, or Fortis, call attorney Ken Nugent now.
These companies let some people go without treatment because it got too expensive. Courts have recently awarded $8 million and $38 million to victims who had their health coverage dropped or denied.
Call me right now. You may be entitled to a large cash award.
If any of these companies denied your claim or canceled your health coverage, call 1-800-CALL-KEN. 1-800-CALL-KEN. If you have a transvaginal mesh implant and have suffered extreme pain, chronic discharge, urinary problems, infection, or you've had the device break loose or surgically removed, call now for a free consultation.
If this has happened to you or a loved one, call me right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation.
The makers of these faulty mesh products may be to blame for your injuries, not your doctor. Call now. That's 1-800-265-4300.
After my daughter's accident, the insurance company cut off her benefits. My sister said, protect your daughter. Call Lee. Best advice. Lee got my daughter $425,000.
Protect your child. Call 1-800-LEE-FREE.
I applied for my disability benefits, but I got denied.
I need someone who knows the system and knows how to get me approved.
If you've been denied your disability benefits, call us right now. We know the system and we know what it takes to get approved.
I called Harrison Graves. Now I'm approved and I'm getting my disability checks.
I'm approved and my checks are coming in.
If you've been denied your disability benefits, call us. It's just that easy.
Call 1-800-273-HELP.
This is a legal alert for the users of Xarelto. If you or a loved one have suffered severe bleeding problems after the use of the blood thinner Xarelto, call 1-800-583-4444 or visit youhavealawyer.com. Potential claims are being reviewed for the users of Xarelto who have suffered severe bleeding or hemorrhaging, stroke, or even death. Call 1-800-583-4444 to find out if you may have a case. Call 1-800-583-4444 for a free legal consultation. That's 1-800-583-4444 or online at youhavealawyer.com.
If someone you love is in a nursing home, be suspicious. And if you see any signs of abuse, have it investigated immediately.
If you're concerned about abuse or neglect at a nursing home, don't wait. Call Campbell & Associates immediately. Let them investigate your case.
You deserve to know the truth about what happened. The initial call and advice are free.
If you suspect nursing home abuse, call Campbell & Associates immediately at 1-800-764-9191, 1-800-764-9191 now.
I'm Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer. I avenge injustice for the injured, the mistreated, and the ignored.
Jim Adler fights for your medical bills. Jim Adler fights for your lost wages. Jim Adler fights to get what's yours.
An 18-wheeler rear-ended my client who needed painful neck surgery. I hammered and put $84,535.17 in his pocket.
Let Jim Adler fight for you.
Call 713-777-4000.
713-777-4000.
Have you or a loved one experienced a heart attack, stroke, kidney failure, or death, and were given the medication Trostalol during heart surgery? You may have a claim for damages. Call the Singleton Law Firm today at 877-631-5200.
Attention Yamaha Rhino ATV drivers. There have been widespread reports of severe injuries and deaths due to rollover accidents.
If you or a loved one were severely injured with crushed arms, hands, or legs, had massive surgeries, or died because of an accident on a Yamaha Rhino ATV, call attorney Jim Adler right now.
Don't put this off. Call me immediately. You may be entitled to a cash award.
Call 214-320-1111 or 817-320-1111.
Attention former Boy Scouts.
If you were sexually abused while in the Boy Scouts, call the Goldwater Law Firm. The Boy Scouts have created a bankruptcy trust worth hundreds of millions of dollars, even if your abuse occurred decades ago and was never reported.
Call now. Find out if you may qualify in under 2 minutes.
Call us immediately for a free, confidential case review. Call 1-800-494-8686. That's 1-800-494-8686.
I'm Terry Crouppen. I'm a lawyer. I fix problems, your problems. When someone you love is injured in a nursing home because of careless nursing care or medical care, it's unacceptable. Because of their age and their health, they often need someone to stand up for them. My law firm, Brown & Crouppen, has collected over $350 million for injured people. Not million, billion. See, I fix problems. Call now for free at 421-HELP.
Attention men, have you been diagnosed with skin cancer? Viagra, one of the most widely prescribed drugs used to treat erectile dysfunction, has been linked to the development of melanoma, a rare and potentially fatal form of skin cancer. If you've taken Viagra and were later diagnosed with the skin cancer melanoma, you may be entitled to compensation. Don't wait to file a claim. Call Sokolov Law now, 1-800-123-4567 for your free legal consultation. That's 1-800-123-4567. I'm an non-attorney spokesperson.
This is a legal alert regarding carbon monoxide poisoning. If you or a loved one were hospitalized after exposure to carbon monoxide, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Call 1-800-583-4444 to learn more and find out if you have a case. Or visit www.youhavealawyer.com. Carbon monoxide is an odorless and tasteless gas that can have devastating consequences. Even short-term exposure to carbon monoxide may result in brain damage, permanent disability, or even death. Thousands of people are injured by carbon monoxide poisoning every year. In many cases, exposure could have been prevented. Legal claims are being reviewed for carbon monoxide injuries that may have been caused by the negligence of landlords, hotels or other property owners, construction or repair companies, appliance or vehicle manufacturers, as well as other individuals or entities. If you or a loved one were hospitalized following exposure to carbon monoxide, protect your family and call now. Call 1-800-583-4444. That's 1-800-583-4444. Or visit youhavealawyer.com.
Hello, I'm Harry Chapman with an Avandia update. Have you taken the drug Avandia? Do you suffer from heart problems? Avandia is a drug that has been used by millions of Americans to treat type 2 diabetes. However, dangerous and fatal side effects have been attributed to the drug. In a study in the New England Journal of Medicine, researchers announced that Avandia users are at serious risk of heart and cardiovascular disease. The study revealed the risk of heart attack was increased 43% among Avandia users. To make matters worse, the study also showed a 64% increased risk of dying from cardiovascular complications while taking Avandia. Remember, never stop taking any medication without first consulting your doctor. But if you or someone you love has taken Avandia and suffered heart problems, or if you've lost someone you love after he or she took Avandia, you may need to speak with a lawyer. Call immediately for a free and confidential evaluation of your case. I'm Harry Chapman, and this has been an Avandia update.
An important message from Parker & Wakeman for people who have taken the prescription drug Vioxx. The manufacturer of Vioxx has recently pulled this popular arthritis drug from the market over health concerns. Recent studies show users of Vioxx may suffer heart attacks, strokes, and even sudden cardiac death. If you've taken Vioxx, call Parker & Wakeman now. You may be entitled to compensation. Call Parker & Wakeman today at 1-800-LAW-INFO. That's 1-800-529-4636.
Have you suffered serious injury after using the recently recalled blood-thinning drug heparin? Our investigation has revealed that many batches of heparin have been contaminated. We have traced the problem to manufacturing facilities in China. If you or a loved one has ingested heparin within the last year and either died or suffered a serious injury, call this number immediately to learn about your legal rights. Call us toll-free, 1-877-283-3852 to speak to an attorney. Call now to protect your legal rights.
Attention parents.
The drug Abilify has been linked to an increased risk of type 2 diabetes in children. If your child took Abilify and was then diagnosed with diabetes, call the Goldwater Law Firm.
I'm attorney Bob Goldwater. Call us right now. Both you and your child may be entitled to substantial compensation.
If your child took Abilify and was then diagnosed with diabetes, call 1-800-481-4444. That's 1-800-481-4444.
Attention parents.
The drug Abilify has been linked to an increased risk of type 2 diabetes in children. If your child took Abilify and was then diagnosed with diabetes, call the Goldwater Law Firm.
I'm attorney Bob Goldwater. Call us right now. Both you and your child may be entitled to substantial compensation.
If your child took Abilify and was then diagnosed with diabetes, call 1-800-481-4444. That's 1-800-481-4444.
Have you heard about the $253 million Vioxx verdict?
Estimates of how many people have been injured by Vioxx, Celebrex, and Bextra keep going up. If you use one of these drugs and had a heart attack or stroke, I want to talk to you.
The $253 million Vioxx verdict may lead directly to money settlements all over the country.
If you used Vioxx, Celebrex, or Bextra, don't put this off.
Call 800-620-4422. That's 800-620-4422.
Attention, did you serve, live, or work at the Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune in North Carolina at any point between 1953 and 1987?
Contaminated water at Camp Lejeune has been linked to serious health problems, including cancers, neurological diseases, reproductive diseases, and many other health concerns. If you are exposed to this tainted water and experience any of these issues with your health, the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 may make it possible for you to finally recover a significant settlement. Even if you were previously denied compensation, this new act clears a path to justice that was previously closed. Your exposure to this contaminated water at Camp Lejeune may be the reason for your illness, and as a result, you may be entitled to compensation.
I'm attorney Bob Goldwater. Call us right now. You may be entitled to substantial compensation.
Call 1-800-232-7100. That's 1-800-232-7100.